In recent years, Marvel has pushed their brand further than any other comic book company, or even studio, has ever done before. By creating their ever-expanding Marvel Cinematic Universe, the folks at Marvel have successfully put their universe out there and have created an intricate world which spans both the big screen and the small. Once again, Marvel has led the way in what is possible in the realm of superheroes and has left the rest of the world playing catch-up. However, with a long history such as Marvel's, there is bound to be odd mistake or misfire. With that in mind, here are 10 things that Marvel desperately wants to hide but just can't. Don't forget to like and comment, and also make sure you press subscribe button for more awesome videos. 10. Wolverine's whiskers. The first entry on our list is all about creating a character. When the writers of comic books first come out with their next big character, it can take a while before they fully form the character, complete with powers, backstory and costume. Because of this, many characters can be introduced and then later on be taken away, and then reintroduced as a better and more well-rounded character. This is quite common within comic books. However, when we look back and now at the iconic character of Wolverine, it's funny to see what they first did with him. First being introduced in Incredible Hulk 180, Wolverine was initially going to be an actual Wolverine that had been experimented on and modified. The writers soon thought that was stupid, thankfully, and instead created a man. Most of the traits that we love about Wolverine are there, his claws, the yellow and blue suit, but what they also added was whiskers. Not only does it look silly, but Wolverines don't even have whiskers. 9. Spider-Man One More Day. Arguably the best and most famous couple in all of the world of comic books, except for maybe Superman and Lois Lane, with Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson. Throughout the years, Parker and Watson have been through so much together. They've been friends, together, apart, married and then apart again. And with each storyline the two are involved in, the fans loved it more and more. This all came to a head when the two finally got married, and for once, we all thought there could be happiness and love in the superhero world. However, since then, writers have gone out of their way to erase Spider-Man's marriage from the records, most notably when they came up with One More Day. In this story, Aunt May was dying and the only way to save her life was for Spider-Man to make a deal with Mephisto, and the deal was that to save Aunt May, Spider-Man's marriage must be erased. The entire story angered fans and destroyed everything about our favorite couple. 8. DC ripoffs. Let's get this out of the way first. We all know that Deadpool is a ripoff of DC's Deathstroke. In fact, the writers didn't exactly make this subtle. Before Deadpool became the character we know and love today, he was supposed to be a fun poke at DC's over-serious Deathstroke. This is quite a common thing after all. DC did it with Wolverine by creating Lobo. But over the years, there have been a few times Marvel has, shall we say, paid homage to DC characters, and not only did they do that, but then they tried to make it all like they hadn't. Black Cat and Catwoman, X-Men and Doom Patrol, Vision and Red Tornado, Bullseye and Deadshot, Thanos and Darkseid. The list could go on, but it's fair to say that some inspiration for a lot of Marvel's biggest characters involved picking up their rivals' comic books. 7. Spider-Man the Killer. It's fair to say that Spider-Man is the epitome of a superhero. His tragic backstory fueled him to become something great and worthwhile, and his upbringing shaped his personality into a hero before he even got superpowers. With great power comes great responsibility. That phrase sums up Spider-Man better than anything else. Always noble, always good, and always a hero, no matter what else is going on around him. Spider-Man is always the hero and will always do the right thing. It's strange then just how many times Spider-Man has killed people. Marvel's ultimate moral compass has caused that both by accident and on purpose. He's killed the villain Moondark by pushing him through a portal that drops him off the Golden Gate Bridge and then mocks the dead guy. Other cases have seen Spider-Man kill Wolverine's friend Charlie by punching her in the face. It does seem that from time to time, Spider-Man has get out of jail free card in which he can do something terrible and then the writers hide it. 6. Any movie with only the Hulk. It's strange and funny to think of Marvel failing in the movie world, but with the huge success, not to mention the foresight, planning and integration of the MCU, Marvel have become a real powerhouse in all forms of entertainment. However, before the very idea of the MCU occurred to anyone, Marvel have been trying to get their best and most famous character on the big screen. While some have been successful, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man for example, a lot of them have failed pretty badly. The top contender for the biggest continuous flops on the big screen is the big green monster himself, the Incredible Hulk. Having been one of the most popular characters in the comic books for years, Marvel have tried to mirror this success in the movies, and each time it has failed. His inclusion in the MCU has proved popular, but the fact remains, if the Hulk is on his own, then the movie will bomb. 5. The X-Men continuity. As with the previous century and the entry of the Fantastic Four, pre-MCU Marvel hasn't always had the best luck when it comes to the movies. Probably one of Marvel's biggest regrets is the X-Men franchise. Before the MCU, the X-Men wanted to take on the movie world and create a comic book universe that could sustain itself for many years and many movies. How wrong they were. We're not saying that X-Men movies are bad as such, but when you compare them to what has Marvel done with the rest of the characters in the MCU, the movies, timelines, and plannings for the X-Men franchise is way off. Constantly having to fit in fresh stories and ideas within the very limited and restricted universe they've already created, the X-Men movies have been fighting themselves since day one. We feel that if Marvel has one regret in recent times, then it's letting the X-Men go. Imagine the MCU with mutants involved, that would be something special. Instead, the MCU is forced to ignore everything mutant related and disown the X-Men universe altogether. 4. Gwen Stacy's pregnancy. Now we come to an entry that still has fans foaming at the mouth with anger, us included. It's fair to say that Spider-Man has probably been the most popular and consistent character that Marvel has ever created. His tragic backstory and his love life has made him compelling reading over the years. Although Mary Jane Watson will always be his big love, Gwen Stacy is often considered to be the woman that created the hero within him. After her tragic death, which many still believe is one of the greatest stories in all comic books, Spider-Man's path to protect the little people was sad. However, Marvel writers weren't happy to leave this story alone and went back to it and not only destroyed Gwen's memory but destroyed her death and legacy within the Spider-Man mythos. It turns out that she had an affair with Norman Osborn and had his children, who would then grow up to hate Spider-Man and want him dead. Luckily, Marvel have done everything they can to erase this from their comic books. 3. Miss Marvel's history. In the early days of Marvel, they struggled to find a female audience and to have a strong female superhero that could represent this. Nowadays the pages and movies of Marvel are filled with strong female role models. Some heroes, some villains, some strong and some intelligent. The frontrunner for Marvel's female superheroes is Miss Marvel. With a movie on the horizon and a new version of the character taking the world by storm, Miss Marvel has never been more popular. How badly Marvel nearly messed this up. Out of all the backstories and story arches that characters have had, Miss Marvel is one of the worst. Miss Marvel has sex with the guy then turns out to be her son from the future and has implicated Miss Marvel with himself. Not only is this story cringe-worthy and unnerving, but Miss Marvel confesses that she liked and enjoyed it all and has a serious relationship with her son. We have no idea what the writers at the time were thinking, but thankfully, Marvel has done everything they can to remove this from their history. 2. Captain America became a meth head. Wanting to get away from his clean-cut image and Boy Scout persona, Marvel has tried a few times to give the good Cap a darker and more gritty edge, none more so than when Captain America became addicted to meth. That's right, meth. After his friend and assistant becomes hooked on drugs, Captain America goes to confront the drug dealers. Unfortunately, the meth lab explodes and Captain America gets high of the fumes. Not only that, but he instantly becomes an addict and roams the streets for more meth in order to keep his high. As it turns out, the drugs mixed with the super soldier serum inside Captain America and instantly made him an addict. This is one storyline that the MCU won't be doing. 1. Bankruptcy. The 1990s were not a good time for Marvel, with a dip in comic book sales which actually affected most comic book companies. Marvel however tried to solve this by taking risk after risk. Not content with trying to rewrite and undermine everything they've done before with crazy storylines, stupid crossovers, and retcon after retcon, Marvel started to pay less attention to the work and stories of their comic books and more on gimmicks to try and get the audience back. With things like hologram covers, full covers, and trading covers, the list of ridiculous covers goes on, so much so that during the 90s they've actually had to file for bankruptcy. Luckily, mergers and investors came in and Marvel learned from their mistakes to become the powerhouse they are now, but how close it all came to ending. Thanks everyone for watching. If you like this video, press subscribe button for more awesome videos, and for more information, follow us on Facebook and Instagram.